Welcome to Police News TV. I'm your host, Paul Balmer. On today's broadcast, New Jersey deputy received about $6 million in a civil suit after being shot. NYPD Hero released from the hospital. Officer runs 2.5 miles in a foot pursuit and catches the perp. Utah bill would ban DUI checkpoints. A burglar vacuumed home, folded laundry, and cooked dinner. All that and more right here on Police News TV, your source for national law enforcement news by cops, for cops. This is episode 4 of Police News TV Weekly Show, the third week of February 2012. Now for this week's top stories. Man gets 10 years for paralyzing officer, Oklahoma City, Missouri. 1 year ago, Officer Chad Perry was off duty at a local bar when a fight broke out. He intervened but was paralyzed as a result of the confrontation. 3 of the suspects were arrested, and last week, one of them was sentenced to 10 years in prison in a plea deal. The second suspect received 15 years, and the third suspect, who instigated the fight with the officer, has yet to be sentenced.
Hello, I'm your co-host, Jill Adrian. Also in the news, Mercer County Sheriff's Officer shot during off-duty encounter awarded nearly $6 million in damages. Hamilton, New Jersey. In 2007, Mercer County Sheriff's Officer Joshua Hahn was off-duty when he noticed a domestic dispute outside an area pizza shop. As the officer tried to break up the fight between vassal Billy Heisler, 32, and his sister, Billy pulled out a gun and then shot Hahn in the chest, puncturing his lungs and shattering a vertebrae. The nearly fatal wounds ended the police career of 34-year-old Hahn. 2 weeks ago, Heisler was convicted of attempted murder and weapons charges and is awaiting sentencing next month. Jurors in that case rejected the defense's claim that Heisler's weapon discharged accidentally. In this week's civil judgment, Superior Court Judge Pedro Jimenez ordered the shooter to pay Sheriff's Officer Hahn nearly $6 million. Heisler has sizable assets from a settlement he received after he was injured in an explosion when he was 11. It remains to be seen what of the settlement will be recouped for Officer Hahn, who says, "The criminal case has always been my main concern. I'm confident he will be sentenced appropriately."
NYPD Hero Officer released from the hospital. More than 100 fellow NYPD officers gathered to celebrate the release of Officer Kevin Brennan from the hospital this past Friday. On January 31st, Officer Brennan was shot point blank in the back of the head by a shooting suspect he was trying to arrest. Officer Brennan, who is a huge New York Giants fan, was wearing his Giants jersey as he exited the hospital.
Huge bar brawl in Lowell, Mass. 3 officers hurt, 14 arrested. Police were called to a wild bar fight on February 10th at Fortunato's, aka Club 44, where about 200 people were celebrating a 21st birthday party when a fight broke out. According to a Lowell PD statement, state police and officers from 4 towns responded to the melee. Officers arrived to find patrons throwing tables, chairs, and beer bottles. Those arrested ranged in age from 18 to 33, and charges included making an affray, assault, resisting arrest, assault and battery on a police officer, disturbing the peace, and disorderly conduct.
Officer runs 2.5 miles to catch a suspect in Mason County, Ohio. A man who has an extensive criminal history and is well known to the police won't be running away anymore. During a motor vehicle stop this week, the suspect bailed out of the car and began to flee the scene, as he usually does. Mason County Deputy Sheriff Patrick Boggs then engaged in foot pursuit of the suspect. The foot pursuit, which included fences, ponds, and hills, lasted an incredible 2.5 miles until the burglary suspect was apprehended.
Man shot dead while trying to run over off-duty police officer. Chicago, Illinois. At about 7 a.m. on February 11th, an off-duty Chicago officer was home with his wife when he suddenly heard a large crash. He looked outside and saw 2 men attempting to break into his garage. He put on a police t-shirt and grabbed his gun, and he and his wife got into their vehicle and drove around the block. They returned to find the driver of the van ramming into the officer's garage door to get it open. The officer then blocked the van with his vehicle, got out of the car, identified himself as an officer, and told the men that they were both under arrest, at which point the driver reversed the van, striking the car and knocking the officer to the ground. When the driver aimed his van at the officer again, the officer shot the man, Derek Suttle, 47, fearing for his and his wife's lives. The second suspect fled, and the officer suffered injuries to his leg. The Independent Police Review Authority and detectives are investigating.
Illinois trooper hurt, disabled motorist killed. Saturday, shortly after 1 a.m., an Illinois state trooper was helping a disabled motorist whose car broke down in the left lane of Interstate 290. The weather was cold and snowy, so the trooper put the disabled motorist in the back of his cruiser to stay warm. As they waited for a tow truck, another motorist came along and rear-ended the cruiser, killing the disabled motorist who was in the back seat of the trooper's car. The trooper was also injured.
Police officer injured in stoning attack, Livermore, California. When an officer stopped under a railroad underpass at 2:30 a.m. to clear debris, a group of youths began to heave large rocks and chunks of concrete at him from the overpass. The officer, whose identity is being withheld, suffered serious head injuries, but has since been released from the hospital and placed on medical leave. Suspects were last seen running west along the railroad tracks. Police believe that suspects planned the attack and intended to injure the officer.
Wife and deputies save a Minnesota man with CPR. Racine, Minnesota. Malheur County Sheriff's deputies responded to a residence in rural Racine after a wife reported her 56-year-old husband had fallen down and was making odd sounds. Once the deputies arrived, they found the wife already performing CPR on her husband. The Malheur County deputies continued CPR for over an hour and even administered 2 defibrillator shocks to the victim without immediate results. Eventually, medics arrived and the victim was heloed to a local hospital where he is recovering.
Rookie, Wisconsin deputy rescues man from Icy Creek, Spring Valley Township, Wisconsin. A rookie Rock County Sheriff's deputy responding to a motor vehicle accident arrived to discover a 40-year-old male victim face down and unresponsive in the frigid water. Deputy Niles Boucher immediately entered the freezing, waist-deep water, remaining with the man and keeping him alert until fire rescue arrived. Both were pulled out, and Boucher was treated for frostbite and hypothermia. The victim also survived.
4 Maryland police officers honored for fire rescue. College Park, Maryland. 4 Prince George's County police officers were honored this week for helping evacuate residents of a senior housing apartment building during a fire. The officers, without any protective gear, were able to evacuate all the elderly residents from the burning building and save them from any injury.
Pennsylvania judge charged for dismissing her own traffic tickets, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. State authorities are accusing a Pennsylvania judge of using her position to dismiss traffic citations on her personal vehicle. Kelly Ballentine, a magisterial district judge, received 3 tickets in 2010 for parking violations and an expired vehicle registration. Summonses were later issued. Allegedly, the judge accessed the court's computerized record system and dismissed all the summonses. There's no record of the judge having paid the tickets. The 40-year-old judge is charged with conflict of interest, tampering with public records, and obstructing the administration of law or other government functions. She was arraigned Monday and released on a $25,000 bond.
Indianapolis mulls charging cops for gas in their take-home cars. I'm sure many of you have stories such as this one you could share, and it's no secret that gas prices are on the rise. Now, in Indianapolis, the cost of fuel may soon be passed along to police officers with take-home cars. Last year, Indianapolis police spent nearly $6.8 million on fuel alone. In 2009, the city had an agreement with the police union that if gas prices would rise about $3 a gallon, each officer would pay a surcharge of 1 full tank of gas a month. That'd be about $51. However, since gas prices rose above the $3 limit months ago, the gas surcharge was never enforced. Now, the city wants to enforce fuel surcharge, and they're also looking into some tighter restrictions for the take-home cruiser program.
Retiring officers in Illinois learn unused sick days could be worthless. Swansea, Illinois. After 33 years of service, Swansea police officer Ronald Thompson retired. During his career, the officer accumulated over 2,900 hours of unused sick time, and per the police union contract, he's entitled to 50% of that unused time to be credited toward his retirement pay. Reportedly, this has been a long-time standard practice with previous retiring police chiefs and other officers. Well, the village of Swansea declined to pay this contractual benefit to retiring Officer Thompson, only stating that the village now interprets the police contract differently. The Fraternal Order of Police attorney stated, "It's actually a pretty nasty game of bait and switch that has been played with these guys. The police union is taking the grievance to court.
Sheriff's VW Bug is a pursuit vehicle? Elizabethton, Tennessee. Carter County Sheriff's Deputy Shane Watson drives his department-issued Volkswagen Beetle as part of his SRO assignment in the school system. The cruiser, the official car number of 12.5, is fully marked with emergency lights and siren. Well, this week the deputy was driving his half-pint cruiser when a passerby told him that a Dodge truck was driving all over the road and almost struck several vehicles. The deputy located the truck and then observed it cross into the opposite lane and almost strike several more parked vehicles. Deputy Watson activated his lights and siren on Cruiser 12.5 in an attempt to stop the truck. The truck didn't stop, and as it approached an intersection with a red light, the truck did not seem to be stopping for the traffic light. So the deputy got in front of the offending truck and was able to stop it before the truck ran the light, hitting crossing traffic. Among other charges, the deputy arrested the driver for DWI, which was her fourth. We're pleased to report that Police Unit 12.5 went undamaged.
Utah bill would ban DUI checkpoints. Against the arguments and testimony of numerous law enforcement officials and drunk driving opponents, the Utah House Criminal Justice Committee approved the bill, HB 140, banning police DWI checkpoints. This bill was sponsored by Republican Representative David Butterfield, who made the case that the checkpoints infringe on Utahns' civil liberties, are an ineffective way of catching drunk drivers, and should be done away with.
Two arrested for hauling $1 million worth of heroin on a bus. In Medford, Oregon, a regional drug team has charged two people with carrying $1 million worth of black tar heroin on a bus that left California bound for Washington state. Working with federal immigration authorities, Medford police say they found the two suspects, both of California, on the bus Friday with 47 pounds of heroin packed in 21-kilo packages.
Over 300 pot plants found in Fort Wayne home, Fort Wayne, Indiana. A Fort Wayne man will face federal drug charges after police said they found more than 300 marijuana plants with a street value of $500,000 growing in his home on Thursday. The Allen County Sheriff's Department said an officer went to the home about 2 weeks ago to serve civil papers, but found the home reeked of raw marijuana. After further investigation, police searched the home Thursday and found a very large indoor hydroponic marijuana growing operation with 304 plants in various stages of development. The homeowner was arrested on various state and federal criminal charges.
Vermont to keep prank pig on a police decal? In our weekly Police News TV, episode number 3, we told you about how a Vermont prison inmate altered the official Vermont State Police cruiser logo by putting a pig on it. Well, a local resident has started a petition and a Facebook page called Save the Vermont Pigs. The petition already has over 200 signatures and the Facebook page has like 500 likes. The Vermont resident said, "What I would really like is for the governor to just leave the pigs on the car. That's the bottom line, at no expense to anybody." I like it. Save our pigs.
In our new product segment, Gamber Johnson introduced a new vehicle-specific console box designed specifically for the 2012 Ford Next Generation Police Interceptor. The new console box is a low-profile, no-drill vehicle-specific console box. Console box attaches directly to the Ford NGPI without the need to order a separate top plate or vehicle leg kit and ships fully assembled. The top mounting platform allows the computer to be center mounted or offset towards the passenger side. A passenger side vehicle base can also be used to further offset a computer. See the company's website, gamberjohnson.com, for more information.
In our ever-popular Dumb Criminal segment, fugitive runs out of gas, calls sheriff for help. Evanston, Wyoming. A 59-year-old fugitive is back behind bars after he ran out of gas in Wyoming and called the local sheriff's office for roadside assistance. The Wyoming Highway Patrol said Tuesday that Richard Vincent of Prineville, Oregon, was wanted in Georgia for violating parole on a murder and escape conviction. Vincent called the Uintah County Sheriff's Office, which sent state troopers to help him out. When they learned what Vincent had an outstanding felony warrant from Atlanta, he was taken into custody. Vincent is now being held for Georgia authorities pending extradition.
Burglar vacuumed home, folded laundry, and cooked dinner. South Bend, Indiana. A mother came home with her child last week, only to discover there was a burglar inside her home, cooking and cleaning. Once police arrived, they noticed the 46-year-old burglar had cooked up some chicken and onions on the stove, folded the victim's laundry, and cleaned the floors. The suspect, who they believe was on drugs, located the second set of keys and entered the residence, where he made himself right at home. At least he was a clean house guest. The suspect was arrested and charged with burglary.
Accident claims life of Dale County Sheriff's Deputy. Reserve Deputy Don Williams died after being involved in a single vehicle accident in Ozark, Alabama. He had just completed serving civil papers when his patrol car left the roadway and struck several parked cars. It's believed that he may have suffered a medical emergency prior to the accident. Deputy Williams has served as a reserve deputy with the Dale County Sheriff's Office for 17 years. He's survived by his wife and 6 children. He is the 17th line of duty death this year.
We here at Police News TV would like to thank you for watching.
You can watch or listen to our daily news broadcast on your large HD TV, your laptop, your tablet computer, smartphone, or MP3 player. Your Police News TV, anytime, anywhere, because here at Police News TV, we've got you covered.
Also, you can like us on Facebook, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. We have many other ways to watch and listen to this broadcast, so go to our website, PoliceNewsTV.com, to find out how. If you wish to give us feedback or submit a news story, you can email us at contact@PoliceNewsTV.com or call us at 727-437-2207. We value your input.
This show is dedicated to Dale County Sheriff's Deputy Donald Edward Williams. Let's keep him and his family in our thoughts and prayers. So until next time, to all our brothers and sisters out there, stay safe and see you next week on Police News TV, where we've got you covered.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. And hey! Let's be careful out there.